Welcome back to News Channel 7 Plus. Today's Worldwide Wednesday, where we talk about some hot topics going on around the internet. We've got producer Evan here.
Hey, producer Evan, right here. Yes, so another edition of Worldwide Wednesdays. Like Mia said, hot topics around the internet. Today, I want to learn about what the internet teaches you guys. And I want you guys to ponder on that, because the internet might teach you things that you don't even realize they're teaching you. So I'll start to just break it off. Little niche facts here and there, like history stuff, but I also think the internet teaches you how to communicate in a different way that's never been thought of before. Fast, you gotta be fast and know how to respond immediately in some circumstances, but I just think of the news and what we do. The internet teaches you in real time, whether it's good, bad, breaking news, whatever it is. So,
yeah.
Going to you guys, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah.
You know, that's a really broad question, and it feels a little funny because to me, it's almost like asking a little bit of what did you learn in school? Like almost like that's what the internet kind of has become, or what is used for. Like that's what Google is expanding what you know. Even YouTube is full of tutorials and how-tos and all of the things. So even trying to narrow down what have you learned on the internet? I mean, being someone who's basically always had the internet in the palm of my hand since I was maybe I think I was in first grade when I first had an iPod Touch. It was my sister's. So what have I learned is I don't even know that I can narrow in on one specific thing.
Interesting. And that's why I wanted to keep it broad. And why I said at the beginning is, I don't think many of us in our generation realize what the internet has done to teach us certain things, where I feel my dad taught me how to use a hammer. I didn't need to look that up, but I had to look up different things of what type of screwdrivers are what and what type of nails go in this specific thing. I'm not sure, and that's why, like I said, I wanted to keep it broad, and this could just be a little more fun and what's a rabbit hole you've gone down on the internet to learn about some passions of yours. Let's try and narrow it that way.
Certainly, I learned about guitar through the internet. Without YouTube, I don't think I'd, be anywhere as close as decent as I am today at guitar.
Right.
I'm not the best, but I can hold my own, right? But certainly, yeah. So guitar, directions on how to do some building around the house.
Interesting. Okay. Some handiwork.
Yeah, some handiwork for sure. A lot of history too. A lot of history, as you said. Yeah,
I'm with you on that one.
A lot of history, going back to the Revolutionary War, to ancient Egypt. I mean,
Ooh.
Very vast.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's just been there's so much. I mean, it's just a vast, library of knowledge, right?
Right. It's almost so much you don't know what to do with it all.
Exactly.
So, I see you've been pondering over there.
Because I feel like I don't even know what to narrow in on, where everything from, I don't know, one of the first things I just thought of when you were talking about history was Crash Course, Hank Green and Don Green, and all of those videos, and how much I needed those during some of my AP Gov in high school, some of the little courses that were there, having to watch through those. Everything from that to, I almost want to say that so in the way that you're asking, what's something that you've learned on the internet, and I was saying it's kind of like asking what have you learned in school? It's an open, that's what it's almost used for, it's what it's meant for, but almost turning that on its head a little bit, where you take an art class sometimes in school, but that doesn't even necessarily carry on throughout high school. So I feel like the arts is really a good place to learn a lot of things on the internet, because I've had a lot of different art hobbies over the years, whether it's learning how to crochet or knit, or I started like using clay at one point. I wanted to learn how to use like oil paints and oil pastels and watercolor and all of those things. And like learning those, almost like you don't get really enough time in school and growing up to like learn those things and have people be really specific like in their craft. But when it comes to things like YouTube, I always want to use YouTube as an example mainly of places to learn things, is the amount of times that I've watched tutorials on how to do something, or someone like having a sketchbook, doing a sketchbook tour and flipping through and being able to like grab ideas from that, or like just see how they go about these things. That's one way for sure. And then the other thing I was gonna say is, unfortunately, fortunately, I'm one of those people who I cannot delete TikTok. I just can't, because I use TikTok like I use Google.
But to say, almost like a search
Really?
engine.
I do. I
Really?
absolutely use it as a search engine.
I have never heard that before.
Yes. I will probably look more things up on TikTok than I do Google, which
Wow.
is maybe a little scary to admit. But
I
if
don't
I'm
think so.
if I'm looking up, a lot of the things I also feel like I'm looking up are like either I'm referencing something,
Yeah.
and so being able to pull up that clip, and I know that that clip has to exist on TikTok somewhere. And to me, it's so much easier to look for it on TikTok than it is searching through YouTube, because I just feel like the algorithm is just so different, that it knows exactly what I'm talking about, where there's like so many dumb little things or references or memes or little Vine culture moments that like I'm trying to look for. And YouTube, you have to almost be like really specific, or like know the name of exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
TikTok, I can say like blue shirt guy. Like if I was referencing a video the other day and I was like, oh, couch guy. And I was like, what does that mean? And I went on TikTok and I typed in couch guy and I was like, him, this guy. And like that, it's just so easy to look things up on. And then I also think in general, I'm a very visual person when it comes to learning, and I have to see how someone is doing things. If you give me a recipe and it's just step by step, I get a little freaked out, especially because I'm already not really a science brain. So like baking, I can't do it. I can't put two and two together. To me, it seems like a lot of math. But seeing someone bake and like I can see them, oh, they put this in and then they mix it, and like seeing the actual step by step is so much easier to me. And YouTube videos versus TikToks, and this is bad because it's my attention span, is YouTube videos are like, hey, what's up guys? Here's what I'm making today. Here's the final product. Here's what we've got going on. First I went to the store and then I was like, I don't want all that. Versus if I can look it up on TikTok and it's someone being like, just throwing everything in and you're getting like the words, there's like some little nice music, and then like just like playing through, and it's the right pace for what I need. They do both the words and showing you. And most of the time it's like very quick, but I can always pause. And like, I'd rather have it in like a short format than like super long of like, I don't need to know how your trip to Trader Joe's was. There's not even a Trader Joe's in the area. Like just tell me what ingredients
Just
I
give me
need.
what I need and move
Yeah.
on.
But
Interesting.
also, that's a little bad of me to be like needing something a lot snappier.
I didn't know TikTok could be used like that. Like I knew you could search it up and you'd get like a quick, maybe 10-second video of something at least related. I didn't know I didn't know it was that reliable.
I mean, okay, I'm not, when you say reliable, then I'm like, ooh, because
That's the stipulation.
I'm not looking up anything like of substance. Like I guess if I'm looking up like something that has to do with like history, or I'm looking up something that has to do with like JFK, then I'm going on like Google and looking it up and going on like history.com. But if I'm like just looking up like a clip, or I'm like referencing like Love Island season 6, then I'm going on TikTok to find it. I'm not, I'm like, almost like I'm too embarrassed to type that into like Google and be like, hey Google. I'm in versus like TikTok. TikTok feels like if you're gonna personify them, like Google is a very like sophisticated person and TikTok is like I don't know,
What up, bro?
the like cool girl older sister that you're like, oh my gosh, I just heard about something that's like, oh, I already know, and I already have it for you right here. So
it is interesting.
I'm not asking. Google.
It's interesting to hear because I have seen you do that where it's just a quick like, let me search up this dish, and instead of going on Google like I would, and just like go to Google Images just to see it, like not even know how to make it, not even whatever, just to see what it is. I know Mia will go on TikTok and get a full 10-second breakdown of here's the history, this is how you make it. It's an interesting dynamic because we are such visual creatures and our attention spans, because internet moves so fast nowadays, I think our attention spans were inevitably to shrink.
Yeah, and then on that
is interesting.
same note, I'm trying to remember if you were here for this, but this was for the month of October, it might have been early November, I had made conchas, pan dulce, which is like it's a Mexican little pastry. It's called it's sweetbread, but it's like this like dough, and then you make like almost like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like a powdery icing, but it's something that like my grandparents had always brought when they'd come over and we still lived in Arizona. But I decided to make it for Hispanic Heritage Month, and I really wanted to do pumpkin spice conchas. And like I've always had like the traditional regular like pink, white and brown, like the different icing, like I think they all taste the same too on top of it. But anyways, I was like, I'm gonna do pumpkin spice conchas. So I had been looking on just like Google on like these different blogs, and first of all, some recipes, if you're just looking at them on Google, it's like, my mother first came up with this recipe in 1920. Here's our entire family history. Here are the last 5 times I've made it. Here are all of the ingredients you need. And then let me tell you about my family and how much they enjoy it. Like I don't know if you guys have ever like tried to look up like recipes or like found all of those like blogs that you have to like scroll through it to the very bottom, and then it's like 5 steps. I'm like, why did I just scroll through this person's entire life to get to where I am? That's all to say that I end up like and I couldn't even find what I wanted. Just couldn't even find like what I was like, this has to exist. Someone's got to come up with like a recipe for this, but it is not existing on Google. So, sure enough, I went on TikTok. 5 different ideas.
That's true. I do think the more creative ideas you won't find on Google. They won't push it to the top.
And I also think, and this is a thought that I just had in real time, that most of the people that are maybe putting like the recipes on like blog style whatever, maybe could be a little older and doing more of the traditional recipes, while the people that are on TikTok are younger and now are taking the recipes from like generation before them and are now like willing to alter them and try new things, and those end up on TikTok rather than on these blog sites.
Interesting.
I'll say some of those newer desserts that they're coming up with out on TikTok. I saw one where it was kind of like an Oreo cake. It was like in a cup with ice cream inside. I don't know. I just remember just looking at my screen, just being completely mesmerized.
That sounds good.
I get so many.
Like it's just very odd ways of making a dessert, like not traditional. You know what I mean? It's totally new.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like I said, TikTok fosters creativity a lot. I think so.
I was gonna say that I feel like a lot of my Instagram and my TikTok are food. And then I remembered just yesterday I saw a recipe on TikTok. So like, and that's the thing too, is TikTok is so hit or miss. I got a recipe. Was it just yesterday?
Yeah, quickly.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a recipe that was just like elbow noodles, an entire bottle of buffalo sauce, and then a whole block of cream cheese.
Ooh.
And
Bacon
then
bits on top.
shredded chicken, and then ranch, and then mozzarella, and then bacon on top.
Cholula?
No Cholula, but it did. This is what I mean by like very hit or miss of like that. I showed that to Evan.
I'd explode. I'd explode.
That would hurt.
Yeah, and everyone in the comments agreed. So it is very hit or miss.
But they were also funny, and like that's the thing too. And like why TikTok's algorithm is so silly is no one's like, oh, I'm gonna save this recipe or I'll use this later. It's all like people like tearing it up and being like, this would make me so sick. But notice that I didn't say that I wouldn't eat it, just that it would make me sick after.
Yeah.
People are funny.
The internet is a funny place, that's for sure. All right, well, I'm a Facebook producer, Evan, WJHG. Again, it's a broad question, but I want you guys to tell me, how does the internet teach you? Not specifically what it teaches you, but in what ways do you learn on the internet?
And will someone else please say that they used TikTok as a search engine just to make me feel better?
I don't think you're the only one.
I better not be.
I don't think you are.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining us for this Worldwide Wednesday. We will catch you in just a bit. We'll check in with Sean Bro.